Authorities warn of medium risk of local transmission via vector mosquitoes after the city confirms the first imported case of chikungunya fever since 2019. Multiple parts in the city became marshlands again under the second black rainstorm warning within 5 days. And U.S. President Donald Trump sacks his Labor Statistics Bureau chief because figures from the latest job report doesn't quite fit his narrative. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Cheryl Yun. Hong Kong confirmed its first imported case of chikungunya fever this year in a 12-year-old boy who returned from Guangdong that is experiencing its worst outbreak. Quinton Yang reports.
The Center for Health Protection announced the case this afternoon after the boy developed symptoms on Thursday, one day after returning from Foshan City in Guangdong. He was later diagnosed by a private doctor, who promptly alerted authorities. Albert Au, head of the CHB Communicable Disease Branch, confirmed the patient remains in stable condition, and his mother and another household contact showed no symptoms. He stressed that chikungunya is not transmitted person to person. However, with Hong Kong experiencing hot summer weather, Au warned of a medium risk of local transmission via mosquitoes. The hospital authority has reserved designated beds to admit confirmed patients, ensuring they remain in mosquito-free zones to prevent transmission. As chikungunya vaccines, being relatively new and currently unregistered in Hong Kong, require further evaluation, Au said an expert panel will be established to review the situation and determine whether to introduce them. Currently, the hospital authority has procured sufficient testing kits. Citizens suspecting infection are urged to seek medical consultation. The case follows a significant outbreak in Guangdong province, where over 7,000 infections have been reported, primarily concentrated in Foshan's Shunde district. Macau has also recorded 6 imported cases linked to Foshan. Authorities are currently not considering issuing travel alerts or imposing compulsory testing requirements for these areas. Quinton Yang, Cable News.
Meanwhile, neighboring Macau has also recorded its first local chikungunya fever case. A 34-year-old resident of Edificio Jardim Kong Fook, who works at a construction site in Zone A of the new district of Macau, has been confirmed with the mosquito-borne chikungunya, marking the SAR's first local case. Macau's Health Bureau reported that the patient had experienced throat pain last Sunday without fever or joint pain and tested negative for the virus on the day. By Friday, however, rashes appeared on both upper limbs and chest, and a viral test confirmed chikungunya. The patient is currently stable and in hospital isolation. Authorities have classified this as Macau's first locally acquired case based on the patient's travel history, symptom onset, and test results. Just 4 days after Hong Kong faced its first black rainstorm warning of the year, the highest signal in the city's 3-tier system was issued again this morning, with torrential rain triggering widespread flooding. Over 110 emergency response teams were deployed across the city to clear blockages and manage flooding. Rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters per hour was recorded in some areas, including Qingyi, where heavy rain significantly reduced visibility for drivers on the Qingma Bridge. Conditions were worse in Sai Kung, where rainfall mixed with muddy water turned roads into rivers in Longmeichun. Chun Wan faced a similar fate, with multiple road lanes flooded near Chun King Circuit flyover. Vehicles navigated through water, splashing as they passed. Workers were deployed to clear blockages and drain floodwater. On Lantau Island, flooding reduced Chengtong Road from 2 lanes into 1, prompting emergency workers to clear water and direct traffic. In flood-prone Wong Tai Sin, floodgates and sandbags were deployed as barriers at Temple Mall, a lesson learned from severe flooding 2 years ago. The observatory issued the amber warning signal 10 minutes to 7 this morning, upgrading it to red at 10 minutes past 9. The black warning followed approximately 30 minutes later and lasted about 2 hours. All rainstorm warning signals were lifted at 4 p.m. The weather forecaster said the weather will remain unsettled in the next couple of days, with heavy showers at times and squally thunderstorms. Secretary for Transport and Logistics Mabel Chan revealed that the new regulatory regime for licenses for online hailing cars will be simplified, facilitating better regulation and mitigating market speculation. Evelyn Bai reports.
The regulatory framework for ride-hailing services is expected to be submitted to the Legislative Council for discussion in the third quarter, which proposes to introduce licensing requirements for platforms, vehicles, and drivers. In an exclusive interview with iCable News, Chen noted that designating vehicle owners as drivers is a fundamental requirement. This will assist platforms in conducting due diligence and monitoring the drivers providing services, Chen said. To prevent the emergence of a secondary or bidding market for ride-hailing licenses, the minister noted that the future licensing regime will be streamlined to ensure simplicity. The licensing fees for drivers and vehicles will not be overly charged, as this could discourage potential participants, Chen added. Regarding some ride-hailing drivers expressing concerns over high insurance costs, ranging from $60,000 to $70,000 annually, Chen mentioned that discussions with the insurance industry have taken place, and she is optimistic about finding suitable insurance products for drivers. When asked whether the number of ride-hailing vehicles will be higher than that of taxis, the transport chief said the government aims to carefully balance the ratio of ride-hailing vehicles to taxis. It will not establish rigid quotas to avoid disrupting market operations. She also said the government will not impose strict requirements on driving hours. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
The Housing Society is set to deliver 17,000 public housing units over the next 5 years, with its well-off tenants policy rolling out in full next month. Chairman Ling Kar-kan emphasized that the policy has garnered understanding and support from tenants. Evelyn Bai again reports.
The city's second-largest public housing provider will roll out 11 housing projects in the next 5 years, including 6 subsidized self-led projects. Among these is a widely discussed home project on Anderson Road, once conducted by Aggressive Construction, expected to be completed alongside 3 other projects, totaling 4,600 units by the next fiscal year. Taking to the airwaves, Ling attributed delays on the Anderson Road project to contractors and technical issues, while assuring that these challenges are being handled. Meanwhile, the society will begin replacing old tenancy agreements for some 25,000 households from September, fully enforcing its well-off tenants policy. Households earning double the income limit will pay 1.5 or 2 times the standard rent, while those exceeding 5 times the limit or owning local property are required to move out.
We forecast that the complete replacement of the old tenancy agreement with the new tenancy agreement will be completed within a year. And we will carry out this by phases. We will start with those oldest tenancy agreements. So most essentially we will start with the oldest estates.
Ling acknowledged that elderly families might find it challenging to understand the new policy, adding that they will be included in the final phase of implementation.
So far, we conducted more than 200 briefing sessions to our tenants, and our feedback is that our tenants are very understand very understandable about this policy. Many even support this policy, and after they understand the implementation method, they do not raise any particular problem or worries on that.
To date, the society has reclaimed over 100 units from well-off tenants and cases of abuse. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
In yet another abrupt move, U.S. President Donald Trump has fired Erica McIntyre, head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, just hours after her agency reported disappointing jobs numbers for July. Bess Leung tells us more.
The report showed only 73,000 jobs added last month, with large downward revisions to May and June, which Trump called a shock and accused McIntyre, without evidence, of distorting the numbers for political reasons. In a social media post, Trump blasted the Biden-era appointee and said she would be replaced with someone more competent and qualified, insisting job reports must be fair and accurate.
I've had issues with the numbers for a long time, but we're doing so well. I believe the numbers were phony, just like they were before the election, and there were other times. So you know what I did? I fired her.
Right. The move has sparked controversy since the Bureau is supposed to be independent from politics and revisions to employment data are routine practice. Trump has a long history of challenging statistics that do not fit his narrative, praising strong numbers but discrediting weak ones. Critics say the firing could threaten trust in official data, especially with hiring growth now at its lowest since the pandemic. The White House says the search for a new commissioner begins immediately. Bess Leung, Cable News.
On to the weather now, mainly cloudy with occasional showers and a few squally thunderstorms. Showers will be heavy at times tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 26 and 29 degrees. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.